Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakodash, Barakathum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to Ya'akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is a brother Raya with another video, and I'm going to start it off with Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And I know you Akim out there can feel just how much these days have been shortened. You'll be at camp on Saturday, and then it'll feel like a day or two later before you're right back at camp. And as it said, for the elect's sake, these days have been shortened, or else no flesh would be saved. And we can clearly see that this civilization, this so-called civilization under the rulership of Esau Edom, the so-called white man, that red Hebrew Edomite, that son of perdition, or that son of utter destruction, doesn't have too much longer to go. You've got chemtrails in the sky, you've got pollution in the ocean, you've got lands being strip mined for their resources, which a lot of those resources end up getting wasted anyway. You've got the relationships between men and women degraded to such an extent that people are deciding just to be alone, become sodomites, or deal with rubber toys. You've got the threat of a nuclear-armed World War III looming, which will happen. And if the Most High wasn't involved and Esau was allowed to run roughshod, there would be no life left on this planet. And of course, you can't forget these poisonous, carcinogenic GMO foods that are breaking down people's bodies, physically and mentally ruining them, to where they'll have to go to these Edomite pharmaceutical industries to get this medication that only exacerbates the problem. And that's what I'll be dealing with this video. This is an article from shtfplan.com titled, "We Are Being Poisoned, Leaked FDA Report Finds Forever Chemicals in U.S. Food Supply." And except those days be shortened, no flesh should be saved. And not only does Esau put out these poisonous foods to ruin people's health so they have to go to his pharmaceutical industries for a cure, but it's also a part of these elites' depopulation agenda, as stated on the Georgia Guidestones, to keep the population under 500 million. In a leaked report that we are guessing the FDA, or the Food and Drug Administration, didn't want to get out, is data showing that there are forever chemicals in meat, poultry, milk, and chocolate cake. The toxic carcinogenic chemicals are called forever chemicals because of the time they take to break down. PFAS, or perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances, include chemicals known as PFOS, PFOA, and Gen X. They are all synthetic and all contain fluorine and carbon bonds that are extremely difficult, if not impossible, for the human body to break down. PFAS are often referred to as forever chemicals because it takes them forever to finally break down. It would take approximately 1.5 years to eliminate PFOS from the cow after a 30-day exposure period, the study noted, using an abbreviation for another form of PFAS. PFAS chemicals have been known to be toxic and cancer-causing, and they are in our food supply. The FDA now plans to release the report after it was leaked in its entirety to The Hill and several other media outlets. However, it is clear the government agency didn't want this information released. The FDA has also confirmed the finding of the leaked report. We are being poisoned by toxic and carcinogenic chemicals found in our food. I'm not sure why they released it there and not in the US, but I'm just glad it's out, said Tom Neltner, Chemicals Policy Director with the Environmental Defense Fund, one of the groups that released the information, according to The Hill. The FDA's research showed that water contaminated with PFAS likely ends up in the food supply. 14 of the 91 samples taken by the agency contain the chemicals, while almost half of all meat and seafood samples tested positive. The PFAS has been found in the water supply near military bases, airports that often use firefighting foam, and factories that manufacture products like PFAS, according to The Hill. This is just one more piece to the puzzle, puzzle piece to the food crisis we are experiencing on this planet. Food costs are rising, less food is available, and what is left is full of forever chemicals, and they call us crazy for growing our own food, which the U.S. has passed laws to where it's illegal to have a garden in your front yard. You're considered a domestic terrorist for doing so. Esau's trying to get these people completely dependent on this beast system to where when he pulls the switch to bring in that new world order, people are going to be lining up to get that microchip implant, which is the mark of the beast, to still be a part of this system. The study said that even when food sources tested positive, they were not likely to be a safety concern, but Neltner said that is probably not the truth. The PFAS have been linked to thyroid disease, liver damage, and cancer, as well as high cholesterol, according to CNN. They just assume all these are one-off isolated incidents, but their cumulative exposure But there's cumulative exposure here that has to be considered, he said. Scott Faber, Senior Vice President for Government Affairs for the Environmental Working Group, which also released the study, said it was wrong for the FDA to hold back findings that contribute to a growing body of evidence tying PFAS exposure to food, according to The Hill. Clearly, people are not going to stop eating chocolate cake with icing, but they have the right to know that high levels of PFAS are being found in everyday foods, and that's why it's so troubling that Americans had to go all the way to Helsinki to know what scientists have known for many years, he said. Salakia. These chemicals can easily migrate into the air, dust, food, soil, and water, and can accumulate in the body. A study from 2007 by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention estimated that PFAS chemicals could be detected in the blood of 98% of the U.S. population. Is complete madness. A bulk of PFAS chemicals come from the packaging used on our food, such as meat wrappers and fast food containers. And also, you can look up that a lot of the linings in cans for canned goods have a lot of phytoestrogens in it, which is leading to a lot of estrogen in males, which is making them more feminine. All a part of that depopulation agenda to lower men's testosterone and try to chemically turn them into sodomites so they won't procreate. Eliminating this packaging by growing your own foods is a start, even though Esau Edom again is trying to stop that by making it illegal. Consider using seeds sourced through American farmers who pledge to never ever use GMO crops like those in the garden in a can. There's no time like the present to learn how to provide for yourself. But again, all this is futile because if the days weren't shortened for the elect's sake, no flesh would be saved. So this is just another instance of why you Edomites, or so-called white people, have been horrible rulers of the planet. Everything you do is cause this planet to languish. And once you Edomites are finally taken out of power, the whole world is going to rejoice. They're finally going to see what a righteous rulership looks like under the children of Israel, the true children of Israel, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is Isaiah 14. I'm going to read verse 5 through 7. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked, Esau Edom, the border of wickedness, in Malachi 1 and 4, whom the earth has been given into the hands of, in Job 9 and 24, and the scepter of the rulers, the elites of these Edomites, such as the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Gettys, the DuPonts, the Mellons, what have you,